Well, it's been a month since I bought the F12. What do I think of it now? I've been driving it most days. Does it live up to the E64 6 Series, which I had before? Is it any better than that? Now, if you had asked me that this morning, I would have said no, not a chance. The E63 and 64 650s had just all that guttural power, ironclad reliability, absolutely fantastic cars. I've moved up to an F12 and I just didn't like it. It was just too fiddly. There's so many things that annoy me, which is now part and parcel of all modern BMWs. And by that, I mean keyless entry. It's absolutely ridiculous. And there's so many reasons why that just doesn't work. And then things like the cruise control, where the buttons are all on the steering wheel. That is really annoying and dangerous. You have to take your eyes off the road or hit the brake pedal to stop it. And you don't want to do that on an English motorway. It causes all sorts of problems. So I went out and started doing the video. And then I got onto the country roads, onto the twisty roads. And all of a sudden I found out the problem wasn't the car, it was me. I was driving this car like an E64. And that's not the way to drive it. Once I worked out how you're meant to drive it, then it comes alive. And then you can start chucking it in round the corners and giving lots of acceleration. It was absolutely fantastic. The car is just so fast, and it's so much faster than the E64. It's in a completely different league in the way that it handles and the way it accelerates. It is really exciting. Anyway, I'll tell you what we'll do. We'll go out on the road and we'll start with the things that annoy me. One of the things that annoyed me the most was my camera fell off the back of the car, and that didn't do it any good. So we're on camera number 2 now. Let's get out on the road. And through that drive, I learned to love the car, and I absolutely love it now. It's a fantastic car. So much better than the previous 6 Series. Let's get on with it. Right, my first annoyance is keyless entry. Yeah, I know all BMWs are the same now. So I can unlock the car. Car is unlocked. I can keep the key in my pocket. That was the promise. Rightio, in the car we go. Now, of course, in the E64, I'd put the key in the hole and all the accessory power would come on. Like your windows and your soft top, for instance. So do I want to open or close the windows? No, BMW's not allowing me to do that, even though I've got the key in my pocket. Do I want the radio on? Well, that's fortunate. They do allow you to have the radio on. So off we go. We've got the radio. Turn it up so I can hear it. And the screens come alive. Hooray! So surely now we can set up the nav for the drive. So you press the nav button. No, you can't do that. That's not allowed in the slightest. You can't have your nav on. You can have your multimedia, your radio, or some vehicle information. And they can tell you why you can't do the things you want to do. It's extremely annoying. Well, Tim, of course, all you've got to do is press the ignition button. Well, so I press the ignition button and everything turns on. So the ignition system is now on, and that means it's draining the battery pretty damn quickly. So, for instance, you can hear the blower. The blower's going. So I'm using oodles of electricity. I might want to sit here for 5 minutes and mess around with my nav, press my nav button and set up my destination and so on. All meanwhile, we're running out of electricity. Now, of course, you have to get the key out of your pocket at some point because you've got to lock the car. So it's not as though you can just keep the thing in your pocket all the time. You need to get it out to do stuff. So you come up to the car, you've got the key in your hand. You unlock the car, you get in. What do you do with the key? Well, if you've got jeans on, you can't get it back in your pocket. The only thing you can do is put it somewhere. You can put it in there. Yeah, that's a good plan. It doesn't come back out again. You fiddle for about 10 minutes trying to get it out. So really, I'm not complaining about the F12. I'm complaining about all modern BMWs with the keyless entry. It's just a ridiculous system. My second gripe is the cruise control. Now, on the earlier BMWs, you had a stalk for it. If I want my cruise on, I just press the stalk forwards, and there we go. We've got cruise on. Very accurate, keeps me at the right speed. Works really well on the A roads when you're just cruising. You knew exactly where it was, and when you wanted the cruise control to go on, you just push the foot stalk forward, Well, now I'm coming into a 30 limit and I need to adhere to the 30-mile-an-hour limit. So how do I switch the cruise control on in this car? Well, I've got to fumble about these three buttons here. The lowest one is the on, and then the upper one is the set. So I've had to look at the steering wheel. So I took my eyes off the road. I'm now in cruise. How do I turn the cruise off? Well, all early cars, karate chop the thingy. This one, you've got to take your eyes off the road, hit the IO button. Well, Tim, why don't you just use the brake pedal like everyone else? Well, if you're on a UK motorway and you hit the brake pedal, it causes pandemonium. Car behind you will put his brakes on a bit more, the one behind it puts it on a bit more than that, and so on until the road comes to a complete standstill. So the only option I've got is to fumble around, try and find the IO button and switch that so it turns the cruise control off. Yep, I find it very annoying. Now I want the cruise control to come back on again. I want to resume. Okay, it's the middle button of those three, right? With the earlier BMWs, hit the end of the stall, you're done. So old BMW, hit the end of the stall, keep going, karate chop it to turn it off. This one, well, I'm going to use the brakes, so I can't be bothered to find out where the IO button is. It'll take too long messing about. Since making the video, I've realised that this insert of metal here is the key to operating the cruise control properly. It's immediately obvious under your thumb, and you know if you go left and down, that's IO, left and up, resume, left and up twice, that's the set button. And you can do all of that without looking at anything and keep your eyes on the road. So yeah, that's the trick for that. Here's a funny one for you. Did you know that the paddles work even when you're in normal drive? Now, you'd expect to be able to put it into Steptronic and then you've got full control over your gears. But in the F12, and I guess all later models, you can actually use the paddles when you're in drive, which seems very strange indeed. The way it works is it just allows you to have Steptronic control for a short period of time. So here we go, into third gear. So M3, so we're in manual mode at the moment. But we're only in manual mode for a couple of seconds. It's gone back to drive now. Oh, so the electronics saw, oh, he didn't mean to touch a paddle, I'm sure, he just slipped his hand. I'm going to go back into drive again. So for a second you're in Steptronic control and then you weren't. It goes back to drive. Right, coming up to the junction, Steptronic, forward, 6th gear, 5th gear, 4th gear. Car come the other way, so we're going to have to wait into 3rd gear. This bloke's coming up quite fast. We don't care. Right, we're in 2nd gear. Wow. Wow! That is truly astonishing, really, the amount of power there. 4th gear, that is, yeah, that's a good gear, that one. Now it's just too fast for little lanes. You've got to admit, the F12 is a blooming fast car. 3rd gear. Wow! Yeah, that's certainly a lot faster than the E64. That's just sort of as though you're being wafted along by a jet engine all of a sudden. You got that sudden urgency, and then after that you've got it building up with the turbos spooling up. So you've got enough, you've got probably the same acceleration as the E64 initially, but then you get the turbos come in and then it just wafts you along like a mad thing. 3rd gear. Wow! Yeah, once you've spooled up pretty good. Wow, immediate power there, no waiting for, oh, and there too. And you've got that scrubbing feeling of the rear wheels just trying to grab onto the road. Yeah, it is truly exhilarating, a lot faster than the E64. Fifth gear, oh yeah, that is just fantastic. So yeah, I'll take my words back. I'm getting used to the Steptronic now. There we go, third gear for this corner. Oh my goodness. Of course, Steptronic will put it automatically into second gear. We've got a cyclist coming. So that's a bit, oh well, the car behind's got caught by the cyclist, so we can just trundle out slowly, give it some feet. Wow. And into drive. Now that's the first time I've really given the car some welly from second gear, and it is truly astounding. I think once I get used to the gearbox in this, I'm really going to love the car, because it is absolutely fantastic in those twisty roads, and I didn't think it was going to be. Yeah, I'm starting to enjoy the car a lot more now. Right, we're automatically going to go into second gear, so I don't have to worry about the Steptronic. Now I can slightly understand why it would put it in second gear, because you do need the acceleration. Once you're used to it, of course, and you realise that it is going to go into second gear, then it's not so much of a problem. Right, coming up to the junction here, Steptronic, fourth, that's nice, third gear. It's going to plop it into second gear, I can see that happening. Right, second gear has been selected. Off we go. Right, second gear. Wow. Okie dokie, that is a pretty good. Wow. Yeah, traction light was coming on a few times there. They have big lorries go down there. It's a reclamation yard, and get all sorts of stuff there. Oh, goodness me. Fourth gear. Fantastic for a bit of spirited driving around the little lanes. That's for sure. Always got to be careful in these lanes. Things will jump out from the side. And you also get what we have in front here, which is a cyclist. I think the engine's saying, oh, thank goodness for that. I'm actually being used for a change. It'll backfire from the exhaust even then. Amazing. Yeah, the exhaust has got valves in it that opens up when you're in sporty mode. Oh, goodness. Yeah, of course, we're in drive then rather than Steptronic, so slowing down, got a car come the other way. Quite a narrow, another cyclist, I'm afraid. Slowing down, third gear, fourth gear. That is truly amazing. Wow. And I can see why the headrest is quite close to your head. Yeah, you need that, otherwise your head's going to fall off. Oh, goodness. Right, there we go. Off we go. Wow. It sounds like a racing car then. Fantastic. I'm getting more and more happy with this as I drive it. What a marvellous car to drive, it really is. All that power when you need it. Even in drive, you can put your foot down and off you go. It really is absolutely instantaneous as well. Unlike the earlier models where the power didn't come on immediately, this one has got it coming on in spades. Right, back into Steptronic for the roundabout. Deaccelerate with third. That's all we need. Back into fourth. Fifth. Don't need any engine power at the moment. Downhill section. Come up to the silly roundabout. third gear is good. It's already put it into second gear for me. I've got to like that now, in fact. I find that quite good. Right, so I've got full control over the car because I am in third gear. So I don't need to use the brakes on the corners. Ah, fantastic. Rightio. Yep, I was putting the car down for no reason at all. It's a lot better than I thought. So there we go then. Yep, I really love the F12 now. It is just so capable. It's just so clever. I'm still annoyed about keyless entry and the way the cruise controls work, but I'll get over that. I'm sure I'll get used to it. But the F12 is such a better car compared to the E63 and 64. It really is a leap up in performance. This 650 is so much faster than the E64. It's lightning fast, but it's still very capable and very sure-footed. Fantastic car. There's so many things on this car that's better than the E64, but you have to learn how to drive it like an F12 and not an E64. Yet the problem was me, not the car. Anyway, put the thumbs up if this helped you. Thanks for watching. Keep subscribing, keep commenting. Yes, I'm a bit behind on the comments, been so many of them, and I'll see you in the next one. Well, did you work out what the garage got wrong when they first sold me this car? They got the registration number wrong, yeah. Instead of LF61YXU, they got LF61YFU, and that turned me into a Peugeot 508, I'm afraid. Yeah, good for speeding tickets, but not good for anything else. So, yeah, they did send me replacement plates, but I got these made specifically, custom made, so it's got Tim's BMW repairs and information on it, and a nice little thing that screws on to the backing pad, same at the back as well. These are really good. They are quite a clever design. Hold the plate in really well. Got this clip, it all clips off here, then you can get the plate out and so on. It means you don't have any screws, don't have to worry whether you've got a white bit or a black bit on this one, for instance. So that was what was wrong in the last video. Yeah, the garage put the wrong plates on it.